Amazon's GT Racing Gaming Chair Assembly and
Hey guys,
Review.
what's up? I am just coming back and doing a review on... We got ourselves a new computer chair off Amazon. It looked pretty cool. So, by golly, I better tell you if it was cool or not, right? That's kind of how I felt about it. Because usually you pay the cheap price, you get the cheap crap, right? This chair was $160 off Amazon. Description in the link. So, that is what it's supposed to look like. It says, sit better, work harder, game better. We'll see about that. Matches my shoes. GT Racing. Dun, dun, dun.
I'm just going to go ahead and voice over the rest of this because, of course, my 16-year-old son had to come down and talk about how his girlfriend, this and that, yada, yada, yada. Well, anyway, you put those two pieces of the base on there, and it's got the different size screws for the base, the M6 screws. You just put those on there. I don't see why they took those two pieces off of the base, unless it's just to save on shipping costs, because really, quite frankly, all it does is make the bottom a little bit smaller. Now what you do is you just snap all the 6 wheels in place, one at a time. Make sure they're firmly in there because you don't want them falling out when you're sitting in it. That would suck. And then you put the shock absorber. And then you put the shock absorber housing, cover, whatever you want to call it. Now you get out the base part. And the M8 screws is pretty much all you use for the rest of it. There's some that's longer than some that's shorter. To be quite frank and honest with you, I really have no idea which does which. But they all fit the same. Apologize if it sounds like I'm a bit out of breath while I'm doing this. I actually do my voiceovers out while I'm walking and I got peace and quiet. Got the birds chirping and everything. Pretty much all you do is you screw those 4 in there. The front and the back, you want to make sure that you get that on there right, of course. Then your armrests. I do like how it actually has 4 bolts for both the armrests. Make sure that they don't fall off while you're sitting there playing your video games, man. That would suck. And then, of course, you always want to make sure that you tighten the bolts with your little Allen wrench that they give you in the package. Yeah. And then, of course, you got to put it on the other side, because what kind of goofy chair would that be? Only having one armrest. I don't know what to do with a chair with only one armrest. I mean, maybe you hang your legs off the side of it, but I like to put the armrests on mine, both of them, because I have 2 arms. Not nothing against anybody that only has 1 arm, but I do have 2, so I went ahead and put them on, tightening them as if they will be used. All 4 bolts on both sides. Then these are the leg rest supports. They have 2 bolts on the leg rest support on each side. That does concern me a little bit due to the fact I got fat legs, and eventually they may strip out. This is a good instance where you might want to use the long bolts that are the M8s instead of the shorter M8 bolts, because 2 bolts, there really should be 4 on this leg part, because some people like me have really fat legs, and that just makes more sense to have 4 bolts on fat-legged leg rests. Am I not correct? But I haven't seen any downsides to this. I've been using this for about a week now since I recorded this video. I'm doing the voiceover way late. This part right here is the back spring that holds the back support up. You have one side that has the spring on it, then you have the other side that is just kind of connecting the bottom to the top. And make sure you get those real good and tight, because could you imagine just be laying down without no back support, sitting on just the bottom part of the chair? You would look really goofy at that point in time. And then as you turn up the strength on these bolts, and you make sure they're good and tight, you go ahead and put the base onto the shock, or whatever you call it, the thing at the bottom that makes it go up and down. It does have a handle on the side to raise and lower the whole chair itself. Then this, of course, is where you attach the back to the bottom. You stick in, there are 4 bolts here as well, 2 on each side. You know, they did 4 bolts on the armrests. They do 2 bolts on the back and the leg rests. You know, I think the back and the leg rests gonna support more than your arms. So maybe at least the leg rest should have 4 bolts. But you know, as long as you keep these 2 on the back of each side pretty tight, 2 bolts should work just fine. I just found that whenever you have only 2 bolts, sometimes if you don't keep track of it, the bolts will come loose. Like on the current chair that I have, I think it's actually missing a couple bolts. But that is neither here nor there. So let's go ahead and finish putting this here together. Pretty much all I'm doing now is putting on the little covers that cover the spring and just the joint on the other side for the back of the chair. And these top parts, like you have the bottom cover, which just bolts on. These top ones, see how it snaps in there? I looked at you after I snapped it in that bottom part. It actually snaps in the bottom, and then there's 1 bolt to the top. That can be a really big pain in the butt to get threaded. Now pretty much what we're doing is putting on the pillow, man. It just has a little buckle that goes through that top part. You click around and it goes through. Now the bottom one, it's a little bit different story. I couldn't really figure out how that went on there. The instructions don't necessarily tell you how it goes on there. It's got really long straps that seem way too long to be doing the bottom part. But hey, as long as you can get it on there and it stays and it supports the lumbar, I think is the only thing that you have to worry about. I really do like that pillow on the back, because it fits just right with my head. But overall, the chair does seem very durable. And when I do sit in it, it feels very comfortable. Oh yeah, you don't want to forget the little bolt covers that go over the screw holes on the sides, because then you'll have little unsightly holes where you can see the bolts. And of course you got this leg rest here, which is pretty much the final piece of the puzzle. It has these little rubber pieces that fit in the groove just like that. But you want to take the rubber pieces off before you put it on the chair. The actual chair itself holds those rubber pieces. All they do is hold the leg rest into the little brackets. So yeah, that's where I fell down because I was leaning forward trying to clean up all my trash. That sucked. Okay guys, this is what it looks like after it's all put together. It's got the headrest, it's got the lumbar support. That may not be how that goes. There's no instructions that tell you
how to put that on there. So I kind of just wrapped it around over here and caught it behind the desk guards. This one here does have the, let's see. Oh, you can charge it. See? You can recharge it with this. It has a little cord in there. Oh, there we go. Plug it in. Okay. And that looks like it's rechargeable. Oh, there it is, GT Racing.
Connected.
So this one has speakers built into it. Pretty cool. No batteries. Comes with all the tools to put it together. I mean, it even has a footrest. I weigh 200 pounds, so it feels pretty good. I don't know about the plastic casters though. That kind of concerns me. But I dig it. Now you see some gamer chairs are like $500-600, even over $1,000 for $160. I think it's worth it. Feels pretty good. Link in the description if you want a badass. I'm gonna call it a Deadpool chair.
I recognize that chair.
What's that?
I recognize that chair.
Recognize it.
Yeah. I think it's the PewDiePie chair or something.
PewDiePie. They
Yeah.
just sell them on Amazon for $160. I think this is a knockoff version of it.
It's like one of the.
What does that mean?
It's
You're
basically
60, you look more like 52.
like the one of the most common gaming chairs.
She starts sweating. Oh God, how'd they know?
PewDiePie has his own version
I
of
feel like if
that.
someone says that, that's a Brenda Harry. She says it right.
You know, recliners don't lay flat.
She's really.
Man, that's bullshit.
Anyway, she's about to
It
be
lays pretty much flat, don't it?
Yeah.
It's even got a little pillow to lay on. And then it has the spin feature.
You know who he was? But his profile picture looked cute.
Oh yeah, boy.
But that is the GT Racing chair from Amazon. It's a hell of a lot better upgrade than my other chair. You want to go see that? Let's go see that. This is what I was working with. I'm so glad to get a new chair. Oh shit. Look at that. I think it's missing some screws.
Dad. There's like Dr. Pepper. Bunchy.
Ooh, like, subscribe, share, buy a chair.
Bye.
Whatever, I'm going to sleep. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video and want to follow my process, like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in. Hey man, while you're at it, check out my other YouTube channels. The Stay Home Dad, the Backend Handyman, the Dorcher Family, and the Average Stoner. Just a little bit of what I do from day to day as a stay-home dad.